The Land of the Fans is a landscape partnership scheme that aims to restore, discover and celebrate a unique landscape on the edges of East London and southwest Essex. This 70-mile square area is home to nearly 650,000 residents. With the spread of urban housing and major transport links like the M25 and the Channel Tunnel, it's easy to think that this area exists only to accommodate London's ever-expanding borders. But dig deeper and you'll discover a misunderstood landscape steeped in a history with a strong identity of its own. With the River Thames allowing easy passage to London, the area has witnessed human migration for thousands of years. A crossroads landscape with a rich historical legacy.
Securing lottery investment for this particular area is big news, because a lot of those landscape partnership schemes are in well recognised areas of landscape. This area is not particularly well recognised as a distinct landscape, I think it's fair to say. It's an area of East London and southwest Essex, but it's what lies beneath the surface that is important. And there was a recognition that a lot of that heritage of the landscape could potentially be lost or unrecorded if there wasn't some kind of investment in activity that engaged local communities in the significance of this landscape.
Over 5 years, the Land of the Fans has worked with more than 35 partners to support over 40 projects that connect local people with the area's heritage. From skills workshops to arts festivals, the scheme offered different ways for communities to understand and enjoy local heritage.
Was the perfect location, set as it was in the countryside, but with easy reach of the London markets.
With its close proximity to London, the Land of the Fans was once a setting for grand country houses, a playground for the rich and famous who often commissioned influential gardeners like Capability Brown to design landscapes of rolling hills and lakes, a style that became fashionable throughout Europe at the time. Many of the manor houses have long gone, but the designed landscapes have survived as country parks. Land of the Fans has worked with partners to support local understanding and protection of these landscapes for the future.
The 50 Features project, or the Designed Landscapes project, was a really important piece of work which offered volunteers the opportunity to engage with experts in helping to understand the significance of local designed landscapes. And so through a partnership with the Gardens Trust and various commission pieces of work, volunteers took on a number of training sessions, and then they went out into the landscape and were able to record 50 features of significance and document those in a report.
Belhurst Park is one site in the report. Currently on a Historic England's at-risk register, this former estate is now fragmented by the M25.
My name is Phil Lobley, and I was a trainee and volunteer researcher on the Land of the Fans 50 Fabulous Features. Because I already knew a little bit about Belhurst Park, I volunteered to do a couple of the features in the park itself. The park was a manorial estate from the 15th century onwards. The remains of the house, which was demolished in 1957, are in the middle of the golf course. My research showed that the gardens immediately to the west of the house had not in fact been destroyed, but had been covered over by later landscaping by Capability Brown. Clearly we weren't able to excavate the gardens, but by using digital imaging and later work from Historic England, we were able to prove that the gardens did in fact still exist, were circular in a squared off courtyard, and probably filled with water.
Phil's exciting discovery and Historic England survey provide an important foundation for a conservation management plan for the wider Belhurst Park estate. With multiple public and private owners, such a plan will help protect and raise awareness about the significance of this important hidden historic landscape.
That report is a significant piece of work. It'll be available to planners to help inform future planning decisions. Since that project has been completed, Essex Gardens Trust volunteers have moved on to what's known as the Unforgettable Gardens project, and they're working across Thurrock and Barking and Dagenham to do a more detailed piece of work on recording the significance of local designed landscapes.
As part of the long-term vision to restore the landscape, Land of the Fans has worked with partners to support conservation management plans that help develop strategies for managing historic assets in the future. Worley Place is a unique nature reserve and once home to one of the most celebrated gardens in the country. Home to the Wilmot family, their daughter Ellen became a leading horticulturalist. Ellen financed expeditions to acquire new and unusual plants that made her garden famous throughout Britain and beyond. Since the house was demolished in 1939, the Essex Wildlife Trust have gradually built up the site as a nature reserve, whilst trying to retain some of its original features. In 2021, the Essex Wildlife Trust updated their conservation management plan.
We had a management plan developed with the help of Land of Fans, and it picked up all the stones and looked under them all, and we had a full structural survey done. So it's given us a good indication way forward to the future. One of the areas that we looked at was restoration of the old coal frames. We needed some training in this area because nobody knew how to build walls with lime mortar. And thanks to the Land of the Fans that we was able to put a course together, and we got a trainer in to teach us how to do lime mortar brickwork. We have, through the new management plan, been able to apply for countryside stewardship funding, which essentially gives us access to quite a lot of funding to help restore some of the brickwork. We will need to go and find the rest somewhere else.
Hopes for the future in terms of the heritage would be that those groups that have been engaged in the project so far, they continue to be engaged in the future as part of the legacy, and the projects that we have set up, they've got a future. So the work in terms of developing those historic landscape plans, they can help to secure further investment in the sites, or the reports that have been produced, they are useful in terms of steering decisions about the future. And also, I think importantly, it's given local people a voice, so they have a better understanding about the value of the local heritage, so that they can make informed decisions and voice those opinions when it's important.